This had two clips. I only watched portions of both with Sean Ryan with Tulsi Gabbard. She's an ex-vet. Well, you guys already know the whole story about her. She's wrote a book, and so I don't really have to tell you anything about her. I can tell her about herself. They monitor your brain activity. They know what you're going to do, like they do with me. You know, Parsons is so predictable. He's got an overdeveloped sense of honor, and he's on a moral high horse. So you're being groomed to be put into a position to do exactly what they want and need you to do to maintain their status quo. Like everybody says about me. Oh, he's doing yeah, okay. There's just a huge difference between me and celebrities. Okay. I'm being abused at the soup kitchen with the people that are being mass murdered through government research programs because they're considered not fit enough to live in the great new world order of the champions of the people. And I am more mentally, emotionally, psychologically, and physically fit than any of the champions of the people assigned by the assholes through their brain activity through studying them at Fort Huachuca, right? So, you know, and I told you this a lot, you know, the people like the little Lutheran bastard that you judge people, you know, that watch me is, okay, his brain activity, you know, when you're spying on people for 40 years to maintain a genocidal status quo through economics and espionage, okay, and then you have somebody who doesn't participate in it. His life story is in the Bible and many other religious documents. And you watch him and judge him and say, he's doing it wrong. He's doing it wrong. This man's horrible. He gives in to his horrible wives. He does all this. He's sympathetic to homosexuals. He's this horrible person. Okay? If he were a better conservative, Christian, white individual, he would hang out with better black people and marry better black women. Like, what's that girl's name? You know, the girl with asthma who's married to the white guy? Candace Owens, that's, yeah. Candace is cute, yeah. Dumb as a box of rocks. Everybody who believes money's real and they can protect people with money from people with money is dumb as a box of rocks. Sign up for the military and go out there and fight and talk to the guys in the trenches about how hard it is to mass murder people over money to maintain a status quo. Oh, in the chow hall, right? Don't worry, BMTS crappy. Don't worry, BMTS crappy. That's basic military training. I was in the Air Force. We call it BMTS, basic military training. Boot camp is the guys that carry the rifles and shoot people. We don't have boot camp. We have basic military training. We put planes up in the air and drop bombs on people. We answer to a higher authority. We're kosher. It's funny, this is not kosher. Kareem don't like it. Boom, ba-doom, boom, boom. Blocking this hook shot. Ralph blocked his hook shot. It is raining again. I told Dad it looked like it was going to, and it is. That's good. That's nice. We need it. Damn. Yeah, but Tulsi Gabbard. Huh? She has a white thing through her hair. She doesn't look like Von DiCarlo. No. She's not the girl I saw in my dreams. I know who the girl was I saw in my dreams. It's Max and Emmy's mom. Okay. Because I had a prayer connection with Sel, and I looked at Sel and go, no, you look kind of a lot like Peggy Pettis, and yeah, but no, the girl I saw in my dreams looked more like Yvonne DiCarlo, and Selena Quintanilla Perez doesn't look like Yvonne DiCarlo, and the girl who played her in the movie does. Okay. Yeah, Jennifer looks a lot like Yvonne DiCarlo. You know, they have similar bone structure and, you know, stuff. And Sel has a, you know, cute, they're different looking, they're cute. Sel's nose is cute. Sel's adorable. Okay. She's very machica. Okay. She's very pretty. Okay. She's not as considered as classically beautiful by her features as the Puerto Rican girl that played her in the movie. Jennifer has the little button nose and the real full lips, and the, you know, Sel's nose is machica, so it's kind of bigger, and her head's a little bigger, and her head's, you know, Jennifer has more of what they consider more of a pleasing shape. They're very similar physiologically. Okay, but Suzette's adorable. She's cute. You know, love to see pictures of Mom when she was young. Yeah, but she's cute, right? But your mom, do the washing machine, right? And so, like Sylvia, Amy's mom and Natalie's grandma, she's pretty. Yeah, she's really pretty. She's cute. She knows she's built and knows how to please. It makes another to make an old man wish for younger days, right? She's a brick. What a one in hand out. She's a brick, but in a house. She mighty, just letting it all hang out. Guys, sexual reproduction is overrated if you're not living the faith of Psalms and staying it with the wisdom of Proverbs. Am I not correct there? We're fucking in hell. Let's make love in heaven. All right. Lord's Prayer first. Premarital homes, right? Lord's Prayer first. Then you're making love. If you're not living the Lord's Prayer, the freedom from debt and trespass, then you're just fucking in hell thinking, I'm serving my constituents. It's like they talked about at Southwest Airlines, when, they had the bull and the cow in the rape stand. That bull there is servicing that their cow. Yeah. Why? Well, we need to sell more hamburgers and we need to, need more Lucerne cows for our milk, and our... just, put them both in the pen. Allah decides, let's go eat. You'll get the best bulls and calves that way. There you go. I love Lord Saladin too, don't you? I love him so much. I love his family. Yeah. His father's not the Messiah. Just like Jacob with Joseph, Joseph's father, he knew, my son's special and my son's going to be more special than me. He's the Messiah and I'm not. I don't see things as clearly as him. I don't have his unwavering faith of courage and kindness. Some kids are just so kind. They have the capacity to protect everyone, and they don't think of themselves. They think of everybody else before them, like Jesus feeding the 5,000, right? Like Earl, performing the apocalypse by January 22nd, 2013 during the Obama administration when they tried to eliminate the word God. The reason why they try to eliminate the word God is because they're using the word God wrong. And the Democrats, if they don't have to use the word God, they avoid hypocrisy through the word God altogether so they won't be targeted by Chinese AI or Japanese AI, okay, who don't use the word God in any of their government enforcement of human invented laws. So it's just basically, you see her downstairs, what happens in the cave stays in the cave, right? I don't have to outrun the bear, I just got to outrun you, right? And then, eventually, we're going to have to live by Parsons's rules. It's just, as long as we can keep running the whorehouse and snorting the coke and being in charge, we're going to do it as long as we can. We're not going to give in to Parsons. He's in the position he's in for a reason, and we're in the position we're in for a reason. Right, they're hopeless sinners, and is there a place for the hopeless sinner who has hurt all mankind just to save his own perception of belief? One love, one heart, let's get together and feel. And we're at that, we're getting there. This whole artificial general intelligence to try to tell quantum computing what to do, trying to manipulate linguistics to, it's like they always talked about, Tulsi did talk about that, that's what I got from the Obamas when I was in Sierra Vista, it's ends justify the means. It's for the greater good. No, it's not. Just stand up for the Lord's Prayer. They're not going to allow that. Okay, they're not going to allow you to stand up for the Lord's Prayer without fear. Okay. You can survive what they're willing to do to people that will do it, but none of the rest of us can. Wow, you guys are precious. My precious. Shit. It's horrible, man. It really is. All these people, they all read these books. They all talk about God as a possessive pronoun in the first person. But none of them, want to be the Messiah. They want to judge the Messiah, abuse the Messiah for being the Messiah, and then say their cartoon character would be the Messiah better than you're the Messiah. Same way they treated Haile Selassie, the same way UG Krishnamurti and all the assholes in India treated, remember when Judah was praying? What have you done about poverty? The man spent his whole life trying to eradicate poverty by eliminating economic conflict. What have you done about poverty, you little chicken shit bastard? You're a barking dog. You want to fuck that bitch. Why don't you go ahead and do it? You ugly. You is ugly. So, yeah, horrible. I can't say horrible enough. Human beings. Okay, they're hardly even you. Savages, savages, barely even human. Savages, savages, killers at the core, right? And because they think they're animals. Okay? And people that have God as a possessive pronoun in a first person that they say they have faith in, that's the head of their gun club that murders everybody that's against them and their enemy, and stand by the Constitution is white men are God. Go read it. Okay. All men are endowed, equal endowed by their... That's not true. You're not equally endowed by your creator, Shaquille O'Neal. No. No. You'd have to use this condom for a sleeping bag. Or you know what I mean? What are you doing? Oh, sliding into one of Shaq's condoms there. I remember Pam telling me that. Why don't you hook up with Shaq? No, that man would kill me. I went and saw him and checked him out. He'd break me in half. But I can't fill your order. You do know, Pam, you're having sex with a guy who's 6'11" and plays center at Grand Canyon University. I'm not going to be able to fill your order at all. I'll hit the spot, but it was like, are you in there to hit it? Yes, I'm hitting it. Oh, I'm sorry. It got pushed out a little bit. The thing's got a little out of whack down there. Yeah, he rearranged your plumbing. I get it. Rooter. There's some of your troubles down the drain, rooter. It's really hard for a guy who's a Camaro to get the job done after a school bus has been through the tunnel, right? Whoa, what did you go through? I already went through twice, baby. Did you even know? So it's really difficult for us. That's why you should... You know you need to slow down. You've been working too hard, and that's a fact. That's why you let's wait a while. Trust me, I'll be worth the wait. That you get to know each other. And then, you could accommodate a bus, but a Camaro can do the job just as well. And if you don't let everybody through the freeway, Madonna, okay, you'll enjoy the Camaro as much as you would enjoy the bus. And you'll never know that would be the same. But once a bus has been through, you don't even know the Camaro is coming through the tunnel. Right? Literally. Remember Michael McDonald and the little blonde girl who's the dog walker on Seinfeld? Right? Okay, so if you want something to play with, go and buy yourself a toy. Remember that one guy asked Jennifer Lopez, you got yourself any sex toys, man? Yeah, most of them are my dancers. I have them sign contracts like my ex-husband does. You pig. Okay, I'm just kidding. Joking. I'm being facetious. I'm not? How do you know, Michelle Obama? Where do you get your information? You lawyers. They've always got information. You know how the lawyers are. And then, yeah. Is it Antonio Fargas? I bet you it's Antonio Fargas. I bet it's just a relative that acts and looks like Antonio Fargas, right? Antonio Fargas. Huggy Bear from the Stars again. Never mind. Okay. But, it's funny. For funny. But Tulsi Gabbard, she was in the military. You were chosen by your brain activity by scientists to fulfill political, social agendas for genocide operations for people that accept God as a possessive pronoun, first person. In your head. Now fight and kill over money. Do it for God and country. So that's what's going on. Oh, Zeke could figure it out. They shoot in. Go hide in the shower. Okay. You crazy. They won't hit you. It's fireworks, Zeke. You don't know. One of them might be a gun. Yeah, like those crazy assholes at Fort Huachuca, and he'd run me back to the house. I'd be on the back streets, down to back streets, on the thing right by the front. No houses, no whatever. I could sing, and they had me thinking I was going to hook up with Jennifer Lopez because her marriage was just as bad and dysfunctional as mine. And one day my princess will come. I will be her prince supreme. Hooly, what a dream. I'm only 4 years old. Right? So I'm running down the street. Da-na-na. Stars won't come out if they know that. Sing at the top of my lungs. No one could hear me. We're out in the middle of the desert. All of fucking Fort Huachuca's listening, and they're all a fucking music critic. I can sing better than him, and you've got a bigger dick. Drive the bus through. Damn, where's the Camaro? I'm right behind you. Or I just went through the red light. And what happened? I'm not going to make it. And then I look in my rearview mirror, and there's a school dress driven by a nun, right? Driving in L.A. There you go. Maybe that was it. Maybe she went to Michigan to L.A., She did it to fit in. Yeah, she's a Catholic. You Catholic girls start much too late. Sooner or later, it comes down to faith. No, I ain't got nothing against Madonna. She was just reacting against hypocrisy, but that's the wrong way to react against hypocrisy. Okay? Papa don't bitch. That's what Bob used to sing. Papa don't bitch, I'm in trouble deep. Papa don't preach, I'm in trouble deep. Having a baby isn't being in trouble. Being in trouble is being selfish and having a baby. Okay? That's being in trouble. But if you're going to have a baby, Pisces, Virgo rising is a very good sign, shine, strong, and kind, and the little boy is mine. The problem was when you have children you have to raise with someone who's only taught to be selfish and doesn't understand what it takes to be a parent. Papa don't, bitch. I'm in trouble deep. I'm just kidding. It's not you're in trouble deep. It's just they make it hard. It's getting to the part where I'm no fun anymore. I am sorry. You are you. I am what we are. And that's what happened with me and Steffi had a baby with me just to get back at law. It's because she was competing at law. Because law always got all the good guys, and she was going to do what it took to keep the good guy. And she was not ready to be a parent. She thought she was because of babysitting, but being a parent is way much more than babysitting. Okay. Babysitting is, you have them for a weekend, you give them back. Okay. They get sick, you call the grandpa, you take them to the hospital. When you're a parent, you're up for 3 days and nights because she accidentally had a bubble bath with too much bubble bath from her well-intended sweetheart big sister. She has 104 temperature. You have to keep it down or it's going to cause problems with her brain, right? Because she's two and a half. She's a little cutie pie. She's a buggy snuggy. And so you have to keep it does, they say it does help. When you put the cool cloth on the head, you give her temperate baths, you alternate the Tylenol and the Motrin every 2 hours or so. You stay awake. You constantly make sure that her temperature is not getting too hot, that she's comfortable and can rest and get the crap out of her body and get to recovery. And so, yeah. Good morning. Yesterday you wake up and time has slipped away. And it's really hard, especially if one of the biological parents has been trained to be selfish and is manipulated by scientists that are competing with you because they're better parents than you are and they're better at protecting children from predatory behaviors through sex predators and violent sex cults and oppressive sex cults than you are. Okay, you're a scientist in my house manipulating everything in the house with money and science projects, and I say, let's forgive debt and trespass, love, and eternal faithful peace so we can take care of our children in our house without a virtual presence from selfish, aggressive, violent, obsessive, compulsive perverts. Okay. Natalie was right about you guys. You pervert. No, I was a teenager and I went through puberty and I know what it's like. It's like holding an Russian back with a broom. You're a pervert. No, Natalie. The science when I was a kid, okay, thinking about sexuality when I was a kid in the 1980s and late 70s, early 80s in Colville, Washington, compared to the science that Natalie was having to deal with when puberty hit in 2010 in Sierra Vista, Arizona, which has the best Wi-Fi in the whole world, in the epicenter of Epstein files perversion in the U.S. military with Michael Aquino and Antoine LaVey at the center. It's not militia, I know. And so that's pretty horrible. Tulsi Gabbard doesn't have a clue what she's dealing with. All that stuff's been classified, eliminated, and Parsons is just making it up. Kash Patel, that's all he is Cash. And he's Raj Patel's cousin that's even dumber than he is, right? Oh, go get the milk. It's in the middle section. They're getting you to buy stuff you don't need. Money's not real. Just share, care, give, in accordance to need, built to last. Hey, how Krishna Buddha of you. How'd you do, Krishnamurti? Of you, thank you. Okay, namaste. So it's most people they've been trained and picked, and they've been they know exactly who they're going to. And the further this goes, the more you get the wedding platter, and the less you get the wedding platter that was and all the people that have replaced the people that came before. I'll do it better than you. You're a disgusting old man, David Rockefeller. That's why he can't stand his family, and he couldn't stand. I thought he liked Richard. He hated Richard, and Richard hated him. Well, I'd have done a better job than you, Dad. I would have been a better person than you. Grandpa was horrible, and you're just as bad, if not worse. Just because the shit got worse instead of better doesn't mean I was worse than your grandpa. I just had to put up with worse shit than your grandpa ever had to. Or great-grandpa. It was his grandpa, great-grandpa. John Davison Rockefeller was David Rockefeller's grandfather, but according to him, David was the only one that was worth a shit because the rest of them were obnoxious and full of themselves and wouldn't do what was necessary to do what was good for the strength of the country and the well-being of the country, so we wouldn't get dominated by those foreign shitheads who think they're better than us. See why they picked you, Tulsi Gabbard? How John Davison Rockefeller Foundation of you? Yeah. Just like Jennifer Lopez and Barack Obama and Taylor Swift and whoever, whatever, whenever, wherever, And so you guys are who you are for a reason. You've been babied and doctored and groomed and moved into positions. If they feel these people are becoming too influential, they destroy them with their ambition, like Sean Puffy Combs and other people like that. Sean never was the best guy. Okay. He would do whatever it takes to be in charge. You know what he did with I'll Be Sure. And what he did, he did the shit that was kind of uncouth with those promotions he did before he ever dated Jennifer Lopez. He never told her what he was willing to do to be famous, to have access to women like Jennifer Lopez. And then have the other guys go, you wish you were having sex with her. And then he got so bad and narcissistic about it, he got off on being in control. He masturbated to other men having sex with his girlfriend because he was in charge and he told them what to do. He was Jackie Gleason, and he bought Richard Pryor for his kid's toy for Christmas, right? That's large and in charge, right? That's Lex Luthor in charge, man. Okay. And so you got to understand just how manipulative these people are and how they use your arrogance to manipulate you with their arrogance. Because your arrogance makes you ignorant to the fact that you're just a continuation of their arrogance, right? It's not that hard. A dog could figure it out. Zeke, I know, never. When he's used to garlic salt on his burger, never skimp on. I wasn't thinking that. I wasn't being mean that day. I still remember that day like it was yesterday. I didn't put any garlic salt on because I thought, well, he's a dog. Maybe, they like it better if it tastes like meat and not garlic salt. And I didn't put the garlic salt on it. He gagged it down and looked at me like, trying to kill me? It had cheese and bacon, but there was no seasoning on the meat. When somebody gets used to meat, it's like the milkshake thing with Ralph the Mouth, with the hot to trot, with the divorcee. Come on, Parsons, get with the program. Sorry, Zeke, I didn't know. I was thinking animalistic. Maybe he would like it better if it didn't have the seasoning. They eat, meat, and also eat it raw. Oh, that's true. So, bloody, yeah, that's true. So he had become more accustomed to, bacon cheeseburgers with, you need more. That's why people don't feed them people food. No, don't feed them people. As far as people food, yeah, it's okay, man. Kate, don't worry, boy. I'll get you more. Oh, boy. She gave him. I got kosher hot dogs, the best, right? And I get hers, and she goes, oh, boy, you took my hamburger, right? My hot dog, and I couldn't cuss them out. She's the littlest, and you came and stole it from her? You little shit, I take care of you and give you the best, and you steal my daughter's hot dog? I had to kick your ass outside, right? I'm cussing the dog out. And Amy sits there, and I go to get her another hot dog, and Amy's chatting up guys that she has cyber sex with on the computer there, not paying attention as usual. And Kate, she never pays attention to us, but Kate's standing right next to her mother, and she sits there and pats the dog on the head and goes, "Don't worry, boy, I'll get you another one." And Amy goes, "You're yelling at the dog. It's the girl." Oh, wow. Finally paid attention, huh? Well, was it you, or was it the guy that's going to masturbate with you in the bedroom later that noticed it? He was listening. No, that's the truth about my wife, Amy. I love Amy. Nobody loves Amy more than I love Amy. You got to love people for who they are and not for what you want them to be. And then you have to tell them the truth about themselves so they can look at themselves. And when they realize that they've become the sin of other people's science project, that they don't want to be that sin anymore, and they want to be a better person because they are a better person than that. Right? You're not a science project. You're not an asshole trained by an asshole with Wi-Fi to keep the cameras rolling and keep the action going, to keep the money going. Money's not real. Tell Blumberg to go fuck off. Right? Tell the John Davison Rockefeller Foundation, no more. Oh, how you wish you had never caused me sorrow. Don't say for you and me there'll be never to you tomorrow. There never was a yesterday or a today. Right? She came from somewhere back in his long ago. Sentimental fool, don't see, trying hard to recreate what had yet to be created. That's linguistics. It's not created. Okay, we're created by God. And our relationships are earned through trust and faith and love and no pixie dust, right? So nobody loves women more than me, men more than me, and children more than me. You can love them as much as me. You just can't love them more. And that's the truth. Okay, I love you guys very much. Washington, D.C. I've been to the District of Columbia 3 times. Wasn't it 3 times? We went up for Thanksgiving. We went up for the 4th of July. I think there was one other time, I think. Was it twice or 3 times? I don't recall. Not that it's that important. 4th of July, we went once with Mao. I think we went twice with just me and Brian. One was real quick. One was over Thanksgiving and met the Balls. And the Hills were supposed to show up, but they had a previous engagement and couldn't show. Grant's parents, right? Calvin and his mommy, and but they're good friends. Okay, and it's weird though. Yeah, it was interesting. Yeah, I could tell, the way people treated me, especially in DC. That damn, I'm somebody. You're somebody. Yeah, I know. I've always known. I don't think Brian knew, per se, that I was a science project from his father, for his father, and from his father's, the physical science of the Pentagon. But Brian always knew I was special. Brian told me that, Ralph, you're our guardian angel. Ralph, you're the, Ralph, Everybody told me that. Judy told me that. Miriam, they all told me that. You're our guardian angel. You're a special person. You're, Al, that's because you're Jesus. You're Jesus Christ, man. And people told me that all the time. Bob, Link, you're our Fonzie, you're our guardian angel, you're our protector, you're the guy, Through college, because I had long hair, and my main nickname was JC. People used to call me Jesus Christ. Al started it at Circles Records, because he's Jesus. He's like Jesus Christ. It's like, I remember telling Dal that. I was like, no, how, you and me have talked about women. Jesus would not like pussy this much. Did you hear what Adam said in the Bible when he saw Eve? You're like Jesus Christ. He used to tell me. I like the way you read the Bible, brother. I like the way you read the Bible. You get to be a man. I'm a man. Yes, I am. And I can't help but love you so. Be fruitful. Holy covenants. I love holy covenants too. So did Jesus, yeah. The woman that anointed him with oils and kissed him in public and wasn't his mother or his family member, that was Mary Magdalene, okay? When a woman anoints you with oils in public and kisses you in public, okay? If she's not your spouse, when people come around, especially people of the church, she can be taken out and stoned, and you can be beheaded. by Herod. Okay. Jesus was crucified by the Romans because he broke Roman law. He did not break any rabbinic laws. Okay. John confessed to having a relationship with Herod's wife because they wanted to be together, but the hypocrites wouldn't let them be betrothed. And she was mad at him because he wouldn't do what was necessary for them to be betrothed, because he wouldn't perform their Roman occupation hypocrisy. John's an amazing man. He's beautiful. I tell you, a prophet is a prophet except in his own house, in his own hometown, and he's the greatest prophet in all of Judea. These words are stated from Jesus Christ's lips. If you take such power by him, if there is a man that knows this faith-forsaken land, it's John, him, John the Baptist. That's what Jesus said. Yeah. Hats off to old John the Baptist. Lift your glasses high. As long as there's a USA, don't let his Selause's memory die. That he was making history. It occurred to him, but he wasn't making history. He was living a story of an eternal faithful man that they already knew who he was in spirit before he was even born. Iso, it's true. There's nothing so because I know right about this minute, and admit it, I did it for you, and so did he. Okay, it's not because of what we're into, it's because it's right. Truth is truth, lie is lie, right is right, wrong is wrong, and God is omnipotent, and you are not God, and neither am I. But we're all given life by God, okay? Love you guys. It's God's omnipotent. Yeah, I think even Matt Groening from The Simpsons gets it through Ned Flanders, okay? I love you, all right? Peace out, man.